Right, gentlemen, it is early. It is wipe day, and that usually means that we would expect an earlier roster rotation. So, lesson learned for today. So it's 6 o'clock instead of like 8 o'clock, because usually for the past 3 weeks the updates come out for me around 8 to 10 o'clock at night or evening, whatever. But yeah, the update for so every first Thursday of the month is wipe day, and it usually also is the update day. So the update usually comes around at 7 o'clock my time, so that's in an hour's time. But what we normally see is the update, the roster rotation. The roster rotation usually comes out within the hour before the update or within the hour after the update. So I'm here just in case. So let's just go straight into it, because I don't know if this roster rotation is going to happen abruptly whilst I'm doing all of this. Let's go. So last night we had a bit of a discussion. We were talking about the garage door. So yesterday evening I talked about the progress. This was before it became marketable. This was before it appeared with all the other abnormal skins. The bombshell garage door. I made a load of points, provided a load of context right here. Well, here is what it looks like right now. And yeah, there is a lot of buy order support. I can't remember how many buy orders we had last night. Actually, I took a screenshot on my server. Let's go over to here. Where are we? There you go. So last night, 15 minutes after the abnormals first appeared, there's only 917 buy order requests, and the highest buy order was going up to about $2.69. Cool. And now, from what we just saw, they are going all the way up to about $2.90. Let me point out to you that you can still go ahead right now to the Rust store, and you can buy this garage door for $2.99. There we are. I can buy this, to the equivalent of $2.99. Guys, the buy order support is there. It's looking like it's definitely going to be maintaining its price. It's looking very good. I've bought 30. I literally, just before this stream, I went ahead and bought 30 of them. Now, there was also something else I bought, but it's not abnormal. But I'll quickly say it now, just to keep you all prepared. The colourful revolver. I talked about revolver skins last week. I said they're very reliable, and based on the fact that we haven't even reached 10,000 sales for this right here, right now, and the previous one that wasn't Black Gold was the Headhunter. That sold over 14,000. This is so much more colourful, so much more interesting compared to this one. I've decided to go ahead and buy 50 of them here. And on this account over here, I bought 50 of them here as well. So I've split the buying on two separate accounts. Last night, on this account, I actually bought a Steam Deck. That's Steam Deck number 5. So that came through. I did the purchase. So now I don't care buying things on this account. But over on this account over here, this is the account that's getting all of the cheap recall cases. They seem to have stopped at the moment. But I'm buying them and selling them instantly for a profit. It's a money printer. So I felt the need to spend some money. And yeah. So, yeah. Bombshell Garage Door is in a very, very nice position. Definitely look like it has the support. It's super comfortable. Super nice. The buy order support's going all the way up to $2.90, and this is currently selling in the Rust store for $2.99 right now. I am pretty sure it's going to be at least maintaining its price for the short term, and in the long term it has a great opportunity to flourish and potentially increase in price. So I've bought 30 of them, and I did a very good buy order on this yesterday. I did like $2.40, $2.50 as a buy order. I don't know where I am, but I'm definitely around here somewhere. Right, what about all the other things? So, we have the graffiti electrical storage, and this was a bit of a different story, because this just did not have as much support compared to all of the other graffiti storages. At the moment, we're expecting only just over 16,000 sales. I reckon we're going to probably reach around 17 to 18,000 sales. Remember, there's private accounts that bought them and whatnot. But I did go on quite a fuss last night talking about how I worry this is probably going to be the bad one. What am I talking about? When we go through a market dip or a market crash, we would expect quite a decent amount of them to perform very badly. People might start dumping them. They might start getting very scared and panic selling and whatnot. If the buy order support is there, it will keep the price up. What do I see over here? Not a strong buy order support compared to the previous skins of the collection. So what I did is I did a $1.20 buy order and a $1.70-ish buy order. I think I'm right there, $1.76 right there. I wasn't very confident in it, and it seems like most of the other people weren't. So that is why I'm led to believe this only has around just under 17,000 sales so far. People aren't confident in the very last one. Perhaps the demand just isn't there for the electrical storage. Do you really need to store electrical stuff? You can just put it on a wall and come back to it later. So, cooling station metal door. No. No. This is selling in the Rust store for $1.99. The buy order support is not there. It's only going all the way up to about $1, and then it's dead. The problem is, right? We did see something very similar to this last week, didn't we? In fact, I'll save that for JPEG MP5, which is next. But you can see right here, the buy order support's only going up to about $1. This is selling in the Rust store for $1.99. Do you honestly think this is going to maintain its Rust store price? No. But now we move over to the JPEG MP5, and I want to quickly make a quick reference to a certain JPEG skin that came out last week. That being the JPEG SAP. Now, I looked at that buy order support in the SAP last week, and I thought it doesn't look like it's going to hold. It looks like it's going to suffer. What am I talking about? Well, the buy orders in the SAP last week only really went up to around $1.50, $1.70. It was around like here. We didn't see like an extra bit like here. But anyway, I looked at it and I thought it's probably not going to go down very well. Well, what happened over here? It's still up in price. What's going on? I'm led to believe everybody who's trying to sell theirs has been somewhat coordinated. This is a $2.49 skin. The buy order support, and you can still see it, it only really went up to around $1.50, the 20 right there. But nobody sold theirs below $2.49. Everybody that's selling them is like categorically selling them like ever so close to each other above $3. So it hasn't suffered. And because of that, and because some people have clearly like, I want it, the buy orders have slightly risen up. So yes, there's only ones, 6, 1. It's not very strong, but it's still clearly showing demand. Will it be able to hold this up? I don't think so. We saw something very similar happen earlier this year with the From Hell Armored Door. That sold for $3.99 in a Rust store. The buy order support only really went up to about $2.50, but nobody sold the armored door for less than $4. For a long time, people only selling them for around $5, but after about a month, gradually the prices kept going down in the sales, and then eventually it went below $3.99. It only held up for a while. So yeah, this, from what we see here, could happen to the JPEG MP5 as well. However, MP5s, they aren't being used as much anymore. They suffered with the recoil update, didn't they? Thank you for the follow, Mr. Aptalon. So, will this maintain its price? I have doubts, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see something very similar happening to the JPEG SAP. Will people keep the price up with their sales? We shall see. Now we have the military tools, and yeah, this is textbook, no support. So this is currently selling in a Rust store right now for $1.99, and the buy order support is only going up to about $1. I do not think they will hold. I do not think they will hold. And same with the pickaxe. Buy order support's only going up to around $1. Yeah, it's not gonna survive, is it? So yeah, back to here. This is looking very strong, very supportive. If people ever wanted to sell or dump, all of the buy orders here are going to keep the price up. So that is why I went ahead and bought 30 of them. I've got 2 very nice buy orders put down. In the long term, I expect to buy some. Potentially in the short term, I expect to buy some. I'm in a good position. I looked at that and thought it was a perfect thing to jump in and buy, as well as the revolvers. So yeah. Now we're going to talk about the regular skins, because we've just already talked about everything that happened with abnormals. We are now going to talk about the regular skin. So when this Rust store rotates, right here, see that? No, not that one. I meant the page over here. There you go. That's the current Rust store. Hello, how you doing? So when this rotates, the colourful revolver and the serpent bow are going to become marketable. If you've seen my Rust Mechanics and Abnormals video, you'd understand that. You'd understand the flow of how everything works. So, this has only sold just under 10,000 revolvers so far. That's low. I expected higher. That's why I jumped in and I bought 100 of them. I am going to go approach this today. It's a $1.99 skin. I'm going to go very aggressive, because I've seen how well revolver skins have performed before. All I have to do is search for the cheapest one. Show me the cheapest one. This is already the cheapest one. So, yeah, it's not oversaturated. This sold less than the Headhunter revolver. So, yeah. And I already said earlier, much more colourful, much more interesting in design. I think this is going to be performing better than this. The best thing I could relate it to was maybe something like the toy revolver. Very colourful. It does have the red helpful aim sight help there as well. But yeah, that's currently selling for $4. Maybe I could reference it better towards the likes of the Toxic Flame revolver, which is currently selling at $3. At the end of the day, I bought 100 of them. If that colourful revolver jumps up to $3, I'm happy to take that profit. Yeah, I'll grab that. It's profit. Why would I complain? So yeah, revolver looking very nice, looking very sharp. I'm happy with that. Made the purchase, and I'm going to do a very aggressive buy order. What am I going to do? Between $1 and $2. Maybe not very close to $2, but yeah, I'm going to be pretty close. Serpent bow. So this suffered with demand, didn't it? We've had too many bow skins in the past in the past 5 Rust rotations. We've had 3 bow skins, and I'm led to believe everybody that wanted a bow skin has already bought one within recent times. So this serpent bow, I don't know. I did talk last night. I mentioned how. Do you remember the beginning of July? We had this very interesting Rust rotation, and then, oh look, there's Military Python. And this got neglected. People didn't really notice it. But what happened fairly recently with the Military Python was, due to a sheer lack of quantity on the market and in overall circulation, someone walked in and they pumped up the price. They bought out all the stock. So before, it was sitting here selling for around $1.10. Someone pumped it up. Now it sits here and it sells for $1.60 at the bare minimum. See that? Look at the difference in buy orders. 80 cents, 100 at $1, 20 at $1.64. That was manipulation, and it was fairly easy to do because there was hardly any quantity. So he bought out all the stock and he pumped it up, and yeah. Now let me also point out to you, by default, all weapons, red grade items, which are tools and weapons, like the bow, they can be turned into metal, can't they? And metal always usually sells for how much? $1. So if you stick your buy order at around $1, maybe a bit less, maybe directly on $1, you can always try your best to turn those skins into metal if things look pretty bad. But remember the weird rule that isn't very clear with everyone. You can only turn a skin into a resource like metal or cloth or wood if there is currently a listing on the Steam market selling for less than $1. Does that make sense? So the vast majority of the red grade skins, the weapons and the tools and whatnot, you cannot turn them into metal because they have listings above $1. So if we just quickly, come on, work for me, work! There we go. The cheapest ones, there's not that many weapon skins that are below $1. That is these kind of aren't. I'm not 100% if these are, but I know 100% these 4 are. And how many weapon skins do we have? Over 1,000. Cool. Well, red grade, yeah. So over 1,000. So yeah, 4 out of over 1,000. Yeah. Take me to the front page. Cool. Oh, and Target road sign gloves are being pumped. They are currently being manipulated. They are not worth $3. Don't be tricked. So that is the current week. The current week skins. We had 6 abnormal skins, and we are expecting 2 regular skins to be appearing. Now, what else are we potentially going to be seeing today? I reckon Black Gold Tier 2 or Skullkiller Tier 2. So let's just give that a nice quick refresh. quite a lot of people have jumped back onto these because they realise, well, hang on a minute, I see something on the workshop. So we just go over to here. What appeared on the workshop this past Monday and Tuesday? Oh, we got quite a lot of things. We're going to keep scrolling down. There we go. And here we are. It's a competition, gentlemen. Who's going to be appearing today? Are we going to get Black Gold Tier 2? Or are we going to get Skullkiller Tier 2? This is the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny. Who do you reckon's going to get in? Or, based on the fact that for the past 2 roster rotations, we didn't have a single clothing and armor skin, did we? Nope. And, nope. Do you reckon we might get both sets of Tier 2 today? It could. Now, what I also want to point out, next week is Complete the Sets week. And we, by default, would expect a whole bunch of skins from a long time ago. Maybe 6 months, a year ago, even up to 2.5 years ago. That's what we saw happen last year with the last year's Complete the Sets. But there was an instance where a fairly recent skin was also accepted. I remember, what was it, the Rainbow Pony Door? That came out on the workshop like 2 weeks before the Complete the Sets last year, the first week of Complete the Sets. So, if only one of these gets accepted today, I still think the likes of the other one could potentially also appear for Complete the Sets. And also, if you are aware of the 3-week time frame, I have a video talking about it right here, Micro's Hypothesis, a time frame for Rust submissions. We understand that there's usually a 3-week time frame for a Rust skin submission to be accepted, and if it's been 3 weeks, it's very, very, very unlikely that they're going to be accepted. Next week causes a freeze. So if Black Gold or Skullkiller isn't accepted this week, next week is going to be a freeze, and then after that, for 2 weeks after that, that's also applicable for the chance of seeing Skullkiller Tier 2 or Black Gold Tier 2. That was a bit awkward of saying, but you understand that time freezes. The time frame doesn't happen when Complete the Sets is going on. That also applies to holiday events, holiday weeks, when we're supposed to have skins specifically for a holiday. So, yeah. So, we could potentially see this today, potentially tomorrow, next week, and then potentially the week after that, and potentially the week after that as well. Same applies to the Skullkiller right here. So, who are you voting for today, gentlemen? Is it going to be Skullkiller, or is it going to be Black Gold? I am expecting it to be Black Gold. We've had Black Gold appear for all of the other White Day rotations. Black Gold Tier 3 on August 4, and Black Gold clothing on July 7. So, are we going to have 3 White Days on the trot with Black Gold? I reckon we will. So, just one more quick look. That is currently what we see for the Black Gold clothing and armour. And this is what we see for the Skullkiller clothing and armour. These are all the core pieces, right? We have clothing, we have Tier 3, and today we're expecting Tier 2. And all of that adds up to the very best armour loadout. Clothing, hoodie and pants. Tier 3, face mask and chest plate. And we need the road sign kilt for our leg armour. We don't have any other better leg armour. We only have road sign kilt. So, whatever appears today, whichever Skullkiller... sorry, I'm looking at Skullkiller. Whichever Tier 2 appears today should instigate a spike in price for all the pre-existing core pieces. Gloves aren't a core piece, but I still reckon they could jump up in price today. There's not that many of them on the market. Remember what I said. At the moment, on average, a regular skin on the Steam market, a regular Rust skin on the Steam market would have around 100 quantity. If it has less than that, that's below average in quantity, and if it's above that, that's a fair bit more. But if there's demand, the price is always going to be alright. Like the likes of these two. The price is okay for these two because there's a demand for them. But with this, there's a below average amount. But that just means that it's a whole lot easier to buy up the stock and make it look like it's more valuable. Manipulation, told ya. That's usual textbook buyout manipulation. So, what can we expect? What's going to happen? Are you going to rotate? No. So, in my server, we do have the scmm bot to point out that, hey, a rust rotation has happened. We also can quickly always keep refreshing the accepted in-game section in the Rust Workshop area. So if you keep refreshing this, the very second you see new skins appear, that is the time when the new skins have appeared, and that is the time when we've got to start doing our buy orders. So if you don't know how to get the links for the regular skins, just go to SCMM. I'll quickly post this over to you, the chat, who's currently watching me. Let me point out, I do a Rust rotation stream every single Thursday. Look at all of these people screaming and shouting at me, even though I'm trying to do my video. So, yeah, you're always more than welcome to come in, say hello, ask questions, or just watch. See it all in real time. A crazy man talk about skins for about several hours every day. So anyway, SCMM, I've posted you the link chat. You just go over to here, click Marketplace, ta-da! And then we go over here, click the Marketplace, ta-da! I've got the link, all nice and ready. So when that raster rotates, when I see it go blank or see new skins, then I quickly go over to here, get the refresh, see the skin, do the buy order, be very happy. Have I made my point? Is everything clear? I need some water. How long have I been talking for? Oh. I had to rush to do all of that because I was worried that the roster rotation might happen during my talk. I think I've made my point. So there was also something I forgot to mention. Bombshell Garage Door has only sold just over 20,000 quantity. Now, when I first saw it last roster rotation, I looked at that, made a quick guess, and I thought, yeah, 20,600. So that is up to date. That is up to date. It just updated right now. I looked at it and thought, right, so that's pay to win. It's got see-through mesh. It glows in the dark. It's not super glow in the dark. That's got to have around 30,000 sales, I reckon. Well, it's a week later, and we've barely gone over 20,000. So that was also one of the factors as to why I jumped in and made a purchase today, because it definitely doesn't look like it's oversaturated. Remember the point I said last week? There is genuine demand, and if the quantity matches up to genuine demand, then the price of the skin has a very good chance of rising as time goes on. If the genuine demand is higher than the amount, then the price will go up very quickly. But if the genuine demand is here and the amount is way up here, you know, that's oversaturation. You've got all that excess stock, and it's going to get thrown on the Steam market, thrown on third party, and the value of the skin is going to go down because people are dumping it, panic selling, undercutting, and it just goes terribly, terribly wrong. That is what usually always happens with oversaturation. So that's just something that we have to be prepared for. But it didn't happen. I yelled about it yesterday. I yelled about it the day before that. I yelled about it before the day before that. The demand for it just didn't meet my expectations. And with what we can see over here in its current state, with all of those buy orders going all the way up to around $2.99 almost, it's looking like a perfect thing to jump in and make a purchase for. In the long term, will it do all right? I'm sure it will. In the short term, I hope so. But do remember, gentlemen, we do have another CSGO major in November time. We will be expecting another market dip. But then in December, you know, you got during the December month, the Christmas and the winter skins will go up in price. And then when it's post-Christmas, the very second it's December 26th, everything goes up in price. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything else I need to talk about. So, I don't know. How's your day? Yeah, I think I'm done. I've pointed out that I bought some things. The roster rotation could happen anytime now, but we do know that the update is going to be coming out in 35 minutes. So how about we just skip ahead? So, when will be the roster rotation? What? No. 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 What? This? That came out. That's old. 1, 2, 3. That's not in the 3-week time frame. Okay. Alright. We don't have Black Gold or Skullkiller. We have neither. Oh, depression, don't start again. But we do have the first salvage store. It doesn't matter. Right, anyway. Okay. We're not saving that for complete the sets, I guess, then. Very well. That's the first salvage sword in like 2 years. But you know what? I welcome this. We needed more armour and clothing to look forward to. That's fine. I reckon people are going to start selling their black, gold and Skullkiller things now. Impatience has set in, but I'm surprised with this. 9 skins this week. And has it updated over here in SCMM? Don't worry about that. We went a bit crazy today. Alright, so I think we can do our buy orders then. So let's go do that. I'll be back in a bit. Right, so remember when I said, oh, surely it's going to be an early Rust or rotation because it's wipe day and there was the hardcore mode being added today. It's an update day. Yeah. I waited 3 hours for this. Anyway, revolver skins usually always do very nicely. Look at the buy order build up and that. Look how powerful and strong it is. This literally was for sale for $1.99 5 minutes ago. And look at the buy orders on it. Perfect. A lot better than that AK that we saw last week, if you remember. And then let's compare that with the likes of the Serpent Bow. And it's a different story. Definitely not as strong. Again, this was also selling for $1.99. That's what it looks like right now. Right, so Restore, rotate. Not just yet, but it will be doing that soon. So, let's go back over to this side. Remember when we were looking forward to this? Remember when we were looking forward to that? I even had a prediction today. Will we get Skullkiller or Black Gold today? It was neither of them. So yeah, that was a channel prediction. Right now, I've got a whole bunch of people watching. As I said, I stream this every Thursday. We went a bit crazy for 3 hours waiting for this. But as I said, it's very nice to see some more armour and clothing being introduced. That's an early pick. So let's just go through all of that right now. So if we could just get the page. Come on, SCMM, you can do it. Come on, September 1st. Let's go. Come on. Come on. What am I immediately thinking now? It honestly looked like Black Gold or Skullkiller would be for certain. Are they going to be appearing for complete the sets, or are they going to be appearing after that? I don't know. Okay. We'll worry about that afterwards. Let's talk about these skins right now. So first of all, what is a late pick? What is an early pick? I know for a fact this clove storage is a late pick. Let's just go through all of them. Let's just do all of that. So, gentlemen, this 100% is a late pick, and if you aren't fully aware, if you've watched my hypothesis video, Micro's hypothesis, you would understand that usually skins will only come out within a 3-week time frame. But from what we can see here, that was different. Now, this was part of the graffiti storage collection. There was a bit of leeway there. The rules don't fully apply to that. That's a very old late pick. Now this is a typical pick. This came out last week in the workshop and now it's just a pick. So this is a typical pick. This Retro Blast Thompson is also a typical pick. We showed this off in this Saturday skin showcase. I'm surprised this got picked over the Nightwatch one. I'm really surprised by that. It's still good. Thompson skins are very reliable. We'll talk about that in a second. So, yep. This is another very... Well, yeah, no, this is a super late pick. So it's not late. It's even further back. Along with that gold door, this came out 4 weeks ago. So I don't know what's going on here. Is this like a complete the sets, but it's not really complete the sets, is it? Anyway, surprise, surprise, we've got an old pick. And this, again, same thing, old pick. Unfortunately, it's another armoured door skin. This is the 9th armoured door skin to appear this year, so... Katana. So, this is the first salvage sword skin that we've had in about 2 years. We'll show that off in a second. Will that do well? Probably. We'll see. But that is Mr. Tripp's skin, so yeah, that would imply or be the reason why we don't have the black gold this week. Anyway, so this is an early pick. This came out on Monday and it got accepted in the same week. Congratulations, Mr. GBG. You just keep getting skins every single week, it looks like. For a newer creator, that's nice. Now, we questioned this, didn't we? The very second we saw this in the workshop this past Monday, I looked at it and thought, didn't we just have low poly? Don't matter. It's its own thing. We got the Borderlands style. We got cell shaded, that's what it is. We got something new, and I'm happy. I like it. We got something else to look forward to. We got something else to speculate and anticipate for. I am a bit bummed out with the Sorry, I am a bit. No, I am a bit sad. That's the best way to put it. I am a bit sad that we didn't get it. But I can understand we could potentially see it for complete sets. We could potentially see it the week after that and the week after that. But it is very strange to see quite a lot of very old picks. It definitely does not fit in the 3-week time frame. But sometimes that can happen. This isn't 100% correct. This is more like something that is the usuals. It's the common average, we could say. So, what are we going to be putting our money towards? I am seeing quite a lot of abnormal skins, and we shall actually are all of them abnormal. Every single one is abnormal except the Katana and the Retro Blast Thompson, and we can verify that if we just go over to here. Quick refresh. Nope, still not appearing. But SCMM can also point out if something is abnormal or not. These skins have only literally just appeared. Do you see how some of them already say they're marketable? Well, that implies they're abnormal. And then you see here, the Retro Blast Thompson, it says it's not marketable, then that's regular. So this, those are abnormal, and only the Retro Blast Thompson and the... Oh, did I refresh? The Retro Blast Thompson and the Katana Sword are regular skins. So only these two will appear in the Rust rotation next week, but everything else will be appearing during the usual abnormal times. Right, what are we actually going to be putting our money towards? Actually, secondly, I want to quickly see, do we have any newer creators getting skins? And like, yep, Sil, you're fairly new, so congratulations on your 3rd skin. Mr. Trip, I don't need to check on you. Trix, you made all the molten visage things and whatnot. Yep. Okay. Lodi is back to being the one with the graffiti storages. Last week it was his co-helper Ebu, but I guess this one was still attached to him. All right. So graffiti storage is a 16-piece collection. Fine. That's fine. Yes. What are you still doing there? What? Anyway. GBG, you've had only a fairly decent amount of skins, but they've mostly been the JPEG things. Good stuff. The inclusion of this is probably going to cause all of the JPEG weapons to probably go up in price. We'll see. It might not, but that's definitely something that's going to help out the collection. Much like how Skullkiller clothing and armor helped improve the value of the Skullkiller weapons. So, prices. Let's go straight in. Do you remember, or very early on, when I was talking about the graffiti storages, I said there's going to be 4 skins, there's going to be 4 storages that I expect to have more demand and do better overall, based on what I've seen in the past with the likes of the neon storage and the scientific storage. They were gun storage, which is proving to be correct so far, armor storage, clothing storage, and Dropbox. So we're going to take a quick look at them at the moment. We'll even search by most expensive. That's probably a great way of doing it. So yeah, Guns proved its worth. Guns is currently the one that keeps getting bought out, the one that keeps rising in price. All of the other things have had instances where their prices were rising, but that was mostly down to the fact of pumping and dumping. But anyway, gun storage is proving its value. It's the most in-demand one at the moment. That's fine. And I did point out, by default, every single base with some semblance of organisation will always have, at the very least, a weapon storage or a weapon storage and a clothing/armour storage. At least 2 boxes for weapons and clothing. So I always anticipated this was going to be one of the best ones. And yeah, right now it's proving it. So we've got guns there. Armour's over here. Now armour, I think, started to rise up in price because we all thought clothing wasn't going to get picked. We all thought clothing was done for, gone. Nope, randomly appears today. We were told that there wasn't going to be any more accepted. What's going on? We don't know. That's fun. So we got guns, armor, drop, and now we've got the fourth one, the fourth piece. Now, the reason why Dropbox isn't doing as good as all the others is because Dropbox was the one that sold the most overall. Compared to all of the others, it has the highest total supply. Almost 29,000, well, just over 29,000. Compared that to the lowest amount sold, which is the graffiti scrap storage. In reality, the lowest amount sold is the electrical, but electrical's under EBU, which kind of makes it separate for some reason. I don't know what's going on here with SCM. I guess it can't put together, but apparently we only had around 17,000 sales for the electrical storage. And I worry about this because I think it's going to do badly, because I think this is a sign of lack of demand. Anyway, back over to here. So with this, I think it's going to do quite nicely. If the numbers are low, I think it's going to do very nicely. Let me elaborate. Quite recently, with the electrical storage and the charcoal storage, they haven't sold as many. They haven't sold similar to the average amount of what all the graffiti storages have had, which is around 23 to 24,000 sales. If we see lower than that, I could definitely see this doing very nicely. Because as I said, in the past, I have seen this and noticed that the four main storages that tend to do better compared to the rest of them is clothing, armor, guns, and Dropbox. As time goes on, will we see them do much better? That is my expectation, but let's see how it goes. So I can assume this will probably sell well. It's got a nice design, yellow on purple. Not everybody's going to appreciate it, but it does stand out. So let's just see how it goes. By default, everything that you see here, I say it every single week. Let's wait until Wednesday and then make a decision. And with seven of these skins being abnormal, we have a lot of time to our advantage. Much like what I talked about with the bombshell garage door, and then we saw how well that did. So a lot of us did some purchases today on that garage door, didn't we? But let's stick with this. So we got a new sheet metal door. Sheet metal door skins. Doesn't matter. Like, I just we took a look at that sheet metal door earlier, didn't we? The glow in the dark one, and yeah, it doesn't have the best of support. Yeah, it's up 49% now. You got to wait until time passes, when the 7-day cooldowns are fully gone and when everybody is able to sell them, then you can start judging its price. I am worried about this camouflage net door. The longer we wait in trying to release that garage door, the more this suffers. But I got a good feeling it's probably going to appear next week for complete the sets. The camouflage collection is a perfectly fine thing to add to it. So let's see. I don't have a lot of faith in this. Just saying. I by default, as you can see, sheet metal door skins have not done well, even when they're glowing, even when they look very cool. Yeah, so, yeah. Now we have another, I repeat, another armored door skin. It's the 9th one so far this year, and you might think, oh, that's good. No. We've had far too many come out in just a year. Now, let me also point out, this is currently selling for $3.99. $3.99. Well, it doesn't matter. That's not that special, because not too long ago we had the armored door from Hell, which glows in the dark and looks very cool. That also sold for $3.99. That sold over 21,000, and it's down 13%. The most recent armored door skin, which was glow in the dark, was the reinforced armored door. That sold at $1.99, and now it's down 16%. Outer plates down 12%. Cargo heli down 34%. Pixel armored down 52%. Yeah, they're all down. They're all down. Every single armored door skin that's come out this year is below their rust door price, because we had far too many come out too close to each other. They all bottlenecked each other. They all suffered. I've talked about this many times, and we keep getting more of them. Now, just to quickly give you a nice visual, how many did we get in 2021? One. How many did we get in 2020? How many did we get in 2020? 1, 2. Yeah. How many did we get in 2019? 1, 2, 3. It used to be a very rare item to get skins. A very rare It used to be a very rare deployable to get skins, but because we keep seeing it so frequently get more and more skins, it's becoming less special. So we really need to cut down on them. That armor door right there, I'm instantly not thinking it's going to do right. Now, we can talk about the salvage sword. So I've just noticed some more people have appeared. Hello, people. If you could just wait a second, let me finish this and then we can start answering questions. But I made a point earlier, and we can see it right here. After around 2.5 years, sort of 2.5 years, we now finally have a new salvage sword skin. And this is, I mentioned this not too long ago when I was talking about the lockers. When there's no new things appearing for something that gets used fairly frequently, everybody starts buying out the cheap one. So what you end up with is not a single skin of that item being below its restore price. That's exactly what we see here. What's the cheapest one right now? That would be Candy Bobber, which is a holiday themed skin, which tend to be the ones that do a whole lot worse. But even then, it's 10% above its restore price. This katana sword is a little bit more special based on its ever so slightly different. I believe they've cut a bit of the mesh away. Not necessarily cut, but like made parts of it invisible to bring out the best of its... it's meant to look different. Instead of like just being... rounded out at the end, they've made it more like a katana. It's a katana sword. If you know what a katana sword is, you understand what I mean. So they've done a very good job there. Will it sell well? Probably. Will it do well afterwards? Very likely as well. So the point I'm trying to make is the lockers. If you recall, the salvage swords aren't used as much as lockers. Let's just establish that real quickly. But the reason why this has flourished and done very nicely recently is because we didn't get any more locker skins, and we probably most likely won't be seeing any more locker skins for quite some time now. So this is the new cheap option. People keep buying it, people keep using it. And just to reiterate the point that all of the other ones are expensive because everybody bought out the cheaper ones. And then when this popped along, it became the new cheap one, and then people started buying this out and using it. Even though this sold over 32,000, nope, still gets bought, still gets used. So the only real question is will the katana sword be used, or rather, what I meant to say is, do people actually use salvage swords? And I know there's some of the weapons that you can find fairly easily just roaming around looking in boxes. So people do tend to get them, and they do like to have like a melee weapon to crack open barrels and whatnot. I could see it being used a bit, but I don't imagine it gets used that much. Do you get good yields? Do you get a lot of animal fat when you use it to chop up like bears and stuff? Would you be able to quickly point that out to me, chat? Whilst I continue to the next thing. Oh wow, look, it's another AK skin. Alright, Maxim's just requested. Okay, so I'll sort that out in a second. Swords are more of a role player weapon. And now we've just got a katana. Weebs. Yeah, I don't need to explain much with this. New AK. Oh, what should I buy? No. Hey, remember that Retro Blast AK that only came out very recently? Wow, it's down 40% already. Wow, that looks good, doesn't it? Wow. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's selling for $2.49. I don't think it would be staying at $2.49. But here, right here, what do we have here? What's this? That's the Retro Blast Thompson. We like Thompson skins. Do you remember that whole talk I did yesterday? No, not yesterday, last week, talking about revolver skins? Well, I ended up buying 100 of them because they were they were looking very, very nice and very, very good. We didn't get that many sales with the revolvers, so I jumped in, bought 100, and I just did a very nice buy order earlier. I did a very good price. So Thompsons are the other weapon that usually always does very nicely. Now, you might be immediately sitting there saying, oh, but what about the bombing Thompson? The bombing Thompson is an anomaly. The bombing Thompson came out during the offline TV era. As you can see, that had 75,000 sales. We don't use the bombing Thompson, and we don't use it as an example or ever relate to it because it's always going to be fairly low in price because there's far too many that are bought. You could also say the same thing in regards to the Tempered Thompson, which is the most bought skin in the game at 92,791. Even then, it's only down by 30%. But yeah. So let's just not worry about that bombing over there. Stay out of the way. What we have over here is a Glister Thompson at $2, a Chocolate Hunter Thompson at $2. We have the Weather Thompson at $2.56. Pretty much the vast majority of the Thompsons do very, very nicely. They are a reliable investment. The most recent Thompson skin that we had was the JPEG Thompson. That went up 72%. Looks very nice, stands out. It's part of the JPEG set, which was getting more and more pieces added to it. We just saw the armor today. Well, I'm about to talk about it. So, Thompson skins tend to be very reliable, very safe. I'm going to sit here and say it's going to be a perfectly fine thing to purchase. Just don't go too crazy. Skullkiller Thompson. So before JPEG Thompson, I believe the Skullkiller Thompson was the most recent Thompson skin. This came out during the time when Skullkiller didn't even have any armor. Out of all of the weapons, all of them went down except the Thompson. This still stayed up. And with the inclusion of more Skullkiller armor and clothing, this slowly went up in price more. Thompson skins are always usually very reliable. And this Thompson skin right here has that little bit of a red aim sight to help you with. It's not a crazy style of skin, but that's fine. People like to use Thompsons. They have very high gun demand, which of course leads to higher demand to use the skins, which of course leads to what we can see right here, higher prices for the skins. High skin demand, high demand to use skins, higher skin prices. So simple, so easy. It's not hard, is it? So out of everything I see here, that's probably the safest thing to put your money towards. The second thing, potentially between this and this. I want to see how this plays out. I need to wait until Wednesday to make a decision. But then again, it's not abnormal. This isn't abnormal either. Ah, that sucks. But right here, we got the new armor. JPEG, road sign kilt, helmet, and vest. So out of all of these, the only thing that I'm really going to be caring about is the kilt. The kilt. So the kilt is the only bit that gets used in the very best of armor. Tier 3, clothing, road sign kilt. So this don't be surprised if this is the one that sells the most. It's expected. It's going to be the most in demand piece. What matters now is what is GBG going to do next. GBG, in this instance, you've got the JPEG Tier 2 accepted right now. The best thing to do that I've seen before is you should do the hoodie and the pants next. If you do Tier 3, it doesn't... it's one thing I've kind of noticed. Clothing after an armor piece usually does better. Don't do armor. Do armor, clothing, armor. I reckon that's the best thing to do. So, yeah, that's looking perfectly fine as an investment, but it's abnormal. I don't need to rush. We can do buy orders, and then we can see how it looks afterwards, and then we can make a decision. Much like what we did with the Bombshell Garage Door. Do you remember this? It was selling for $2.99, and look at the buy orders there. Looking very strong, looking very reliable, very safe. And don't forget, if you wait until Thursday to make a purchase, you have 48 hours to then make a decision whether or not to make a refund. And at the moment, with the buy order support there, I think I'm alright. We'll leave it as is for now. So, buy order, time advantage is very helpful. Let's make good use of that. Now, these two, they're not usually in demand as much, but sometimes that actually works out very nicely for it. So if I were to show you the likes of Forest Raiders, what's the most expensive pieces in that collection? When we see it, come on, you can do it. Load. There you go. They are actually one of the more expensive pieces because there's less of them being bought. So it can work out well if the collection does very nicely, then yeah, the other pieces of the Tier 2 can do very nicely. But of course, the most valuable piece are the kilt, the road sign pants. So yeah, again, abnormal. Let's wait until Wednesday night, make a decision, do a buy order, see how the buy orders look on Thursday, then consider buying them. So yeah, that is a lot of late picks today. Next week I'd be expecting a lot of late picks again. Weird. It's a weird thing, but early, typical, late, very late. These four, very late. This, that was a typical as well. So we've got a decent batch, a decent mix-up. That's cool. So Next week, now we've got to start brainstorming, because what are we going to potentially see next week for the complete sets? We could have Frosty. Do you remember Frosty Collection? I cried because we never got more pieces. That started off with tier 2. We have in the workshop clothing. In the workshop we also have tier 3, but they were never accepted for some reason. We also have the likes of Lightweight. Yep. Lightweight is missing. Oh, come on. Show yourself, please. Come on, Steam. I use you every day. Please work for me. Alright, here we go. Lightweight never got its clothing. Lightweight never got a hoodie and pants. So that's another candidate. Yes, I'm bringing up things that do have the missing thing in the workshop. They just were never accepted. So that's a candidate for potentially getting something. Then, of course, this year we have the likes of Glister. Glister Tier 3, we never got that. We're looking forward to that. Glister Pants are still being pumped up. They've gone even higher. Glister Hoodie has gone... So, yeah, this never got the tier 3. I hope to see that. What else didn't get anything? What else is missing a certain piece? We also have the Toy Collection. So, Toy is missing its hoodie and pants as well. We never got Toy hoodie and pants. That's sad, but again, it's a candidate for potentially getting... It potentially could appear next week. Ah, mate, what else is there? Again, we could see the likes of Black Gold Tier 2 appearing for complete the sets, as well as Skullkiller for complete the sets. I'd rather have a much older skin. I'd rather see the likes of Toy Collection or Lightweight or Frosty getting something rather than this. I'm more than happy for this to appear the week after or the week after that, which is allowed because this complete the sets kind of freezes everything. So yeah, that could happen. Refresh, have more people started dumping them now. What about over here? So yes, don't be too worried. Don't think, oh, life ruined, thing didn't appear, sadness. No, be calm, be patient. It's still good. There's still a very good chance it's going to come. It just didn't come this week. Be happy that we have something new to look forward to now. It's been a long time since we had a new collection start, and I'm happy to see it. So, right. Have I established myself? Have I mentioned exactly how I feel about all of these? Good. I am very worried. No. Maybe. Yeah. So, yeah, I've went through everything. We do have the complete the sets next week. We don't know what to expect. It's going to be random. We're probably going to see some things maybe from a month ago. We're probably going to see some things from 6 months ago, a year ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. Because that's the longest time that I saw with last year's one. Gentlemen, I have talked and talked and talked. I've waited. I've gone crazy. Today, I honestly thought, I really did think the Rust rotation would be early. It wasn't. And I waited and I waited and I waited and I waited. All part of the fun. And you know what? I'd like to thank everybody that turned up today here as well, because you all arrived and kept me company and started screaming questions at me all the time. Well, we love that, don't we? But we entertained ourselves. So if you ever want to drop by, every Thursday I do this. We wait for the Rust rotation. We talk about the skins. If you have questions, I try my best to answer them for you and whatnot. So yeah, hardcore mode is out now. Is that going to have an impact on some of the skin prices? We shall see. Let's see what happens next week. And don't forget, I'm also doing a Saturday skin showcase, so keep an eye out for that. Other than that, gentlemen, I've talked for about 13 minutes talking about skins, and I've been going crazy for the past 3.5 hours. So I'm going to wrap up this YouTube video. Don't forget, all the links for my Discord and my YouTube are in the description. Do what you must. If you want to join, you can join. If you don't want to, just watch the videos there. You do what you want. Thank you for watching.